It's Police and Crime Commissioner Election Day, so I thought I'd do a quick zip around some of Felixstowe's polling stations to see the keen hordes of voters anxiously queuing to cast their votes. Well, I was a bit disappointed. Those very few people who I saw coming into or coming out of polling stations freely confessed that they didn't really know much about what or who they were voting for. And that seems to be the consensus. Finally, I managed to find a couple of people to chat to, and although they and I didn't agree on basic politics ourselves, we did seem to agree on the pointlessness of these particular elections.
It's extremely slow. I mean, when it's the local elections, it's very slow, and this is dreadful. There's a dreadful turnout. It's a shame that people are not using their vote. I know there's been problems with it, and there's certain criticisms I would have of the way the election's been organised. And to have an election in November, which is today is sunny, but it could have been cold and foggy or even snow.
Yeah.
So it's the wrong time of year to have the election. There's been no free post allowed, which means that particularly independent candidates have no opportunity to get their message out to people. So if there'd been a free post to all the households, it would have been better. And there's just a complete lack of interest in the elections altogether.
I'm against the idea of this individual person being a police commissioner. I prefer the old system of a committee full of individuals who will check on each other, because I think it's dangerous to have one political figure overseeing the work of the police, because you could have all sorts of charismatic figures who may get a popular vote who could be really quite worrying. They could be extreme in their views, and you could end up with all sorts of ideological decisions being made, which would not be good. So I prefer the safety of numbers in the old system. I think it's a big mistake, actually, and I think that's going to be reflected in the number of people who are going to be voting.
You could get somebody with extreme political views who would hold sway against a more democratic system. And I think people, as we're seeing already with the low turnout so far, a bit disillusioned and not interested, and they haven't had the information necessary to make an informed decision.
I personally don't think that it's worth the money that's being spent to produce this change. It seems such a lot of money for very little advantage. The police advisory group was effective in what it was doing before, and I can't quite see why we need to have the whole setup, because it isn't just the police and crime commissioner. There's the whole support staff as well that's needed.